Okay.
Starting already.
Welcome to episode 24 of Korea Talk. We got a really short week, so we're going to try and break down some more interesting parts of the game and kind of look at a few of the stronger teams and a couple of the weaker teams and break down a bit more significantly than we usually do. So, no guests today. Got our fun group. We're going to jump right in to LZ, not IM, versus Spenu. And kind of weird. It was 2-1.
It was a weird series.
And Spenu won the first game. And then Longzhu kind of switched out for the other three different mid-top jungle positions. And then on the third game, they went back to the team that lost the first game, and actually won pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I actually didn't know people were allowed to do that. I thought once you swapped a player out and another player in, I thought you had to leave that player in. Like,
yeah. I don't know. I know they can swap as much as they want, so I just.
I fully did not know that. Like when they swapped him back in, I was like, could they do that? Like,
I think they've done that before.
Like when the roster change music came on, I was like, are they going to put in Zeus or something? And then they swapped him back in. I was like, okay. First game, so...
I mean, yeah, the stupid thing about the first game is that they shouldn't have lost, but because somehow they let Flawless kick Coco in and kill him, and like...
Yeah.
They just threw that game around, and then Spino got the lead, and just were able to...
Sometimes I think top teams get, like, kind of overconfident against lower teams, because there are certain champions that players on lower teams are, like, really, really good at. But like because they have quite a small champion pool, it's like maybe we shouldn't give them this champion just to guarantee us the win. So like Flawless's Lee Sin is a categorical example of that, or like Mickey's Twisted Fate and stuff like that. Like if it was, you know, like it's like maybe that's just one respect band worthy because you can outplay them on the meta champions. So this is just like, you know, a weird kind of pick that they're just crazy good on because there's some solo queue monsters. So maybe just don't give them that. But I don't want to all blame it on.
No, it definitely wasn't because they were winning before anyway. Like. He had a very low impact there early in game, and they got a big lead. I mean, a decent lead out of it.
He just had that, like, you know, that incredible initiation really, and then just kind of sort of won the whole game off the back of it, and it was very good to see. I guess that initiation was very impressive. Is what I'm trying to say.
On the other hand, they did ban like pretty good stuff. Like they banned good. I mean, they banned. Like high priority champions. It's not like they just didn't want to waste the ban because they didn't ban him all game, all the whole series. They never banned Lee Sin.
Yeah. So I mean,
he never played it.
Yeah, I don't really see also Lee Sin is like. I mean, I guess it is ban worthy against Flawless.
I mean,
but there's just so many other champions at the moment that you can play in the jungle that are seemingly just straight up better.
Yeah, but it's like him on Lee Sin's a bit different to like. Yeah. You know, he like if you ask me who's the best Lee Sin in the world, I'd be like, it's probably Flawless. You know, I watch him play solo queue on Lee Sin quite a lot. He does like some crazy shit on that champion. Like no one baits as many cooldowns as he does with Safeguard and Q. Like Q's in, Safeguard's out. No one baits as many cooldowns as he does with that. Like he's insane in solo queue. You want a good treat? Go watch Flawless play Korean solo queue. It's a treat. It's actually really enjoyable to do. You can waste hours of your life doing it.
I mean, I think my biggest issue was like, where was Fury? He was unbanned, like, but
yeah. So Fury's unbanned, but they don't play. And the only thing I can think in that situation is like they've been scrimming so heavily with Captain Jack that they don't want to just drop him
Captain
straight.
Jack is going away, so why would you not practice with your new AD carry, like,
especially against Spenu?
Yeah, I mean that's a perfect time to start trying him.
The next issue is that next week LZ plays SKT in what should be a good set, but are they going to play it with Captain Jack? Are they going to play with swap Fury for his first?
Well, I hope
games.
I hope they play it with Fury, like because the upside to using Fury is higher than the upside to using Captain Jack. So, like, I mean, you've got the synergy with Captain Jack, but Fury's a better player. Like, there's no debate about who's the better player there. Fury is the better AD carry. You know, like. Maybe the best AD carry in LCK now with OQ gone. You know, it's him. It's either him, Bang, or Prey, depending on how you look at life. yeah, like I would find it very weird if they continue to use Captain Jack now that Fury is unbanned, because surely the whole reason of why they signed Captain Jack was to play Fury's ban away. It'd be a bit like if TDK, like because TDK and the NACS, obviously Ninja, their actual mid laners banned, so they do it for a bit, who was shit, and now they're using Ty, who's less shit. It'd be like a bit like when they get the NACS finals, or if they get there. And then Ninja's ban runs out for the NACS finals, and then in the final they go, "Oh, we're not going to play Ninja. We're going to play Ty instead." Like, this is the one series he gets to play in. Like, just use him. So, or if like CJ enters when BDD comes of age, they don't put him in. Like,
and even if Fury is banned, I assume they scrimped with him last month. So I mean, you're not going to just not play with him the whole time.
Like the other issue as well is like because LZ have 10 players on the roster. There's literally 2 teams on that team, and you can bet they regularly pair them into 5, 2 groups of 5, and scrim each other. Like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, oh, we can practice strategies literally in house. They're one of the only LCK teams that can do that as well, I believe, unless the other LCK teams have subs that they don't have listed on their roster, but like training partners or whatever. But they're literally, one of the only, the only 10-man roster in the entire LCK. There are a few in China as well, but on Team Liquid, of course. But yeah, it feels very weird that they didn't just put him in straight away. Like, I was looking forward to seeing him. I was like, yeah, we get to watch Fury. Oh, it's Captain Jack. Great. I mean, Captain Jack's a good player, but he's not. He's never going to set my pants on fire, is he?
Not anymore. He used to.
Exactly, not anymore. I mean, if he was going to college, it's such a waste of time to use him right now.
Yeah.
Who knows what goes on in the greenhouse?
So as we look at Game 2 and Game 3, I have the question of what do you guys think? What roster should they use? Should they attempt different lineups? Because right now it seems like they pretty much, when they do a roster change, it's all 3 at the same time. Should they try like Expression, Crash, Frozen, or Flame, Chaser? Should they mix it up?
So I was talking to Peter about this earlier today, and we both kind of agreed that like Expression and Chaser and Coco was the more skilled like individual trio, as in they're like overall they're the better individual players. You can argue like, well, is Flame better than Expression, or is Crash better than Chaser? But like, Coco's better than Frozen. You can't really argue against that. I mean, just because he's not showing the results right now that indicate that doesn't mean that he's not. You know what I mean? You have to give.
I mean, Game 3 did, but it was on Corky. But...
Yeah. But like, there's no doubt about it. Like, LZ play better when they use Coco. So when they use Frozen, Flame, and Crash, they legitimately play better. Now, I would say that like there's not a lot of time left in the season for them to continue experimenting their roster, because right now they are not very high.
They actually are four later, only 1 game behind.
They're fifth at the moment.
Yeah, it's okay right now. But.
The issue being is they have games against the last 2 games they have are KT and SKT. So.
Yeah, and then we've got then everyone plays each other again. So they've already had 3 losses and they've still got to play SKT and KT. Yeah. It's like there was only 1 loss of those that they were allowed to have, and that was the loss against
ROX.
ROX. And then ROX Tigers, and then they beat Jin-Air. So it's like, well, you've beaten one of the top teams, you lost to the other top teams. Where are the other 2's losses coming from? Like, they've got a worse record than they should have right now. They should be 5 and they should be like 6 and 1. That would put them on the top.
I'd say 5 and 2.
I'd say 5 and 2 is fine. Losing against Samsung is like, if they lost against Samsung, Jin-Air, one of the 2, that's not the bigger thing. The big deal is the CJ loss is embarrassing.
Very, very embarrassing.
So would you switch it out then? Would you kind of change up the Expression, Chaser, Coco?
Well, yeah, I would, but it doesn't seem like they want to. I just would Coco where Frozen is and play with that lineup, maybe.
Yeah, I would like to see Coco and Frozen being swapped out more, but I think that based on synergy and current form, like Crash and Flame seem to play quite well together in a way that and like we heard the stories about like Chaser and Expression are meant to have quite a lot of synergy, but I don't see a lot of evidence of that. So maybe keep Chaser and Expression and Flame and Crash as a duo, and then just rotate your mid laner. But I guess like they're just looking at it from a synergy perspective, because Frozen does play really well around LZ members. Like, he had one game on LeBlanc that was a bit iffy where he got a big lead and then he didn't really manage to convert it against CJ Entus. But other than that, he's put up solid games and solid performances so far. And we know Frozen's a good player. I'm not doubting it. He's just not as reliable as Coco, or he wasn't as reliable last year. Like Coco was legitimately 1v5 in games at times.
That's one of the issues I have right now too. Is that it seems like Coco is a bit underperforming for where he is, and so is Chaser. So when you swap the two, you're seeing a bit of more of an upside. Like Crash has clearly been an anomaly this season, and has performed beyond anyone's expectations. And Frozen has pretty much continued to be the level of Frozen we've seen. So
the other problem with this Longzhu roster as well is that when you look at the top 3 Korean teams, i.e. KT, ROX, and SKT, all of them have an elite top laner. Like, one of the if you ask me who are the 3 best top laners in the world, I'd probably be like, I'd probably be like Smeb, Someday, and Duke. That'll probably be my pick for the best 3 top laners in the world. Maybe you could slip Flandre from Snake in there, but I'm not convinced by that one. I'm not Lolly Sports. And then you think, where do Expression and Flame compare to those two? And the answer is, well, they don't really. Like, they don't put up the same kind of carry performances. They're not bad players. They would both do really well in another region and whatnot, but neither of them really compare to the two. So they've just got this problem that they don't have an elite top laner to compare to.
Neither is as abusive as what we've seen from Smeb someday.
I mean, both of them are. Flame is hard to say because he always has weird games, so I can't really see how good he is because he never has to play against something good. But I think Expression can. They're kind of like just below the top 3. I think they can like fit. They're definitely better than the rest of the Korean top laners. I think.
Well, Trace is really good.
Trace is like.
Well, he's playing really good right now. Well, he's an abusive
still
guy.
Spring.
Yeah,
still spring.
It's still spring, and it's not even playoffs yet, so we can't. He was good this time last year as well. Like
very good last year.
Yeah, well, this time last year he got very shit towards the summer, but it was Maokai and
Rumble, and then Maokai and Malphite.
Yeah.
So one last question about LZ then is is there a certain player you see as the bigger problem? Do you think this is just a cohesion thing?
Yeah.
Is there one kind of outlier you could pinpoint that'd be the issue you see on Longzhu?
Chaser.
Well, yeah, I think Chaser in visual looks bad. Worse, but I think he did fine the first game versus Banuk, and was kind of fucked up and totally. But it's more the synergy right now because like they don't even know how the fuck they want to play with what lineup, and then you still have Fury not in the lineup as well, like.
Yeah, and there's certain moments where they don't like on the same page. Their team fighting is kind of off. Like,
yeah, they definitely.
We've never seen Longzhu do that thing where they're equal to somebody and then they absolutely obliterate the team fight. Every win they get is they win lane, they win game, and that's how they do it. Because the players themselves are smarter and individually superior to the enemy team, so they snowball it. Like, they've never done that thing where like. That QG thing where you're like 10k down and then you have this amazing team fight and you turn it all around. They're never going to do that. Like,
that's how they like lost to Samsung. I think it was because they had worse team fighting even though they were adding gold, and then that's how they end up losing games. Because that Expression TV still fucking freaks me the fuck out. I still have that one fight where he just randomly recalled while he should have fucking been in the fight and then TP when the fight is already over and stuff.
Yeah, that's the moment.
Man. LZ in team fighting is really bad. So.
That's the moment in solo queue where you're like, report the noob top, report noob top laner. So it's not so much of an individual problem as it is a team problem. But if there was one player on the team that I would say is underperforming, it is categorically Chaser. Like, considering how good I've seen Chaser play previously, not even comparable to how he used to play. Like, there was times where I was legitimately calling Chaser best jungler in Korea, probably one of the best junglers in the world. And this was when Spirit was going off on World Elite and stuff like that. Like, when Spirit was having those 11-0, 12 games or whatever on World Elite, I was like, yeah, Chaser's just as good as that. Now he's not even, would you even put him in the top 3 junglers in the world? No. Like,
neither is Spirit, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, Spirit's fallen off as well, but Spirit's not in Korea, so we don't judge him as harshly, do we? Like,
that's true.
He also has an issue. It seems like he's still playing for a team where he should really
play
It's
with
not-
the team.
embracing the carry that he was before.
Like, and
One positive of LZ is at least the 2 games they won were both under like 35 minutes.
yeah, like
Well, 38 minutes.
LZ look good, look okay. So okay to good when they win. But the problem is they lose games they shouldn't lose. They lose games to teams they shouldn't lose teams to. There's almost no real proper synergy there. And this is one of the most stacked rosters in the world. Like, you compare the LZ roster, and they compare favorably to like nearly anyone in the world. Like,
Except ROX. ROX.
yeah, like except for like ROX and objectively SKT. Like, they have a better lineup than KT do, hands down. Like, that's a better team.
If you had
Like,
Shuri and
yeah,
sure.
like, but they don't play like it, you know. Like, you think about all the money they spent on this roster as well. This is probably the most expensive Korean team in the league. Like,
I think the funniest thing too is that not only do they have the best, like one of the best rosters man for man, they also they could create a second roster that'd probably be just as good as they currently are.
yeah, like, this is the most monopolization of talent I've ever seen. Like,
Well, yes, as well.
Like they could have a second team that's probably 6th or 7th, like could fight really for 6th, 7th, maybe 5th place.
who are the top 4 mid laners in LCK? You've got Faker, Coco, maybe Crown. I don't know.
Crown.
It gets a bit murky. I'd put Frozen in that top 4.
I'd put him too, but the issue being is that there's a limited games. Like he hasn't played as many games. That's the issue I have. But the games he's played in and the past year, he's done really well. So I mean, I guess I'd put him. I don't want to say it, but Kuro has also looked much better. But I think that's just a factor of being on.
Sorry,
the
look
team-
at
ROX
the people
Tigers,
at Cora's team. He's
Yeah.
doing
That's why I hesitate for trying to put him even top 5 in LCK.
Kura is a
Is
very
that-
good
Cora's
team player, but like no, he's not actually pure.
Well, I mean,
skill
that's why
wise.
I don't want to put him like even
Yeah.
top 5. Like there's only
Top
11
5.
or 12 maybe mid laners.
Yeah,
you
top
could
5 you
but
can put in, but I mean that's already like.
Kuro
I
is
didn't want to put him there.
Kuro is underrated for the sheer fact of anytime anyone who doesn't watch LCK talks about him, they make out he's like this dog shit shitter
Oh yeah,
that like
that's
can't that
really
would
true.
like get like dumpstered on by like anyone in lane and like wouldn't be able to like they make out that like if Kuro was a free agent he couldn't go to LCK and do like he couldn't go to NALCS and do insane. He would do insane in the NALCS. The problem is comparatively to Faker, yeah, he doesn't match up that well. He's still like an A tier mid laner. He still has a boss games where he bodies everything in sight. Like he's just not, you know. He's like, look at his team. Yeah, he compare well to some of his teammates. That's my issue with him. Like, and it's also it's that thing of you've got to get like when someone's surrounded by good players, you've got to be like, well, how good are you really, kind of thing. Like, you know, because when your top laner is the best top laner in the world, your jungler is fucking insane, and when your support is insane, like, of course you're gonna look pretty good. Like, of course you are.
I mean, I have like one more point about Longzy. Is like how like I didn't like want to rage Flame is because like every time I see Flame play, it's either like in the ROX game they got crushed, so like can't really judge too much because like the whole team got like destroyed. But then in most of the other games he plays scaling champion, gets like carried in. I mean not carried, but like he gets a big lead in lane, and then yeah, of course he's gonna win all the time. Like it's hard to judge how good they are, and that's also like how all their wins seem to be. It's like they just win hard early, and then it's hard to make any judgment, individual or team based, other than the times they lose. And then you can really judge them and how bad they are in team fighting. And
I think the next 2 weeks will be indicative of Longzhu's actual level because they play against SKT and KT. Like this is the time we actually like we've seen Longzhu play a lot, but they've all these roster shenanigans. They've not been using Fury. There's all these like question marks about them. They're probably still the team I don't really know how to rate. You know, a part of me wants to be like they're a top 4 team. Part of me wants to say they're worse than Jinair and Samsung.
yeah, it's
I know,
weird.
you know what I mean. Like they're the weirdest team in LCK right now.
They're kind of in the middle right now.
What do you think would be a win for LZ in next 2 weeks? Like,
Dude, they don't even have to
win games.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
just take games off them.
As long as you take a game off at KT and a game off SKT, they can
That would be massive.
They could be proud. They should realistically be aiming to beat KT and really give SKT a
I
run
don't
for
think
their
they can
money.
beat KT. KT is
I think they can
top
beat
3.
SKT.
I don't think
But-
they can beat KT right now.
No, I don't think they can. But I'm saying if I was a Longzhu player, I'd be like, yeah, of course we can beat them.
Yeah.
Like, look at these dickheads in my training room. Of course we're gonna smash. Like,
But they should just have like good synergized game. Like even if they lose, they should at least put up a decent fight and both objectively and in team fighting try to compete with KT and SKT, or at least KT. I think SKT is just too much.
Like I don't want to say it, but like this time last year, coming into spring last year, everyone was talking about like the Najin team and all the talent they had on that roster, and like how like everyone was saying like alongside SKT, they were the team that best managed to retain their talent and whatnot. Now, obviously, that team went to fucking dog shit.
That went to shit from week one because they lost to fucking Anarchy. It was horrible.
I spent a fucking year anguishing and crying about it. But like, it's the same issue right now. Like, there's so much talent on that team, they're just not utilizing it properly. You know, it's not like anyone.
It's almost like they have too much talent.
Yeah, and it's not like it was with Najin as well, where it's just like, well, Goong is shit, so you know he takes like 30. He takes like.
You just had switched Goong, dude. That team would have been so good.
Goong took like 35% of gold and did like 10% of the damage. Like, what's going on here? Like, but
I say before we move on to the next series, I just have a few quick questions about Spenu. Do you think there's a favorable like pick or team composition that they should go for? Because it seems like they kind of waver in between team comps that don't seem to like picks that don't seem to have a lot of synergy, or comps that super rely on a very thin like power spike to really get going.
I think the Spenu players overrate themselves and their team synergy and pick comps that are too difficult for them to execute.
Yeah, that seems to be an issue with a lot of the bottom teams.
I think Spenu actually think they should be a top 4. I think you know, well, like I think if I spoke to the Spenu players and like gave them this weird truth serum where they didn't give me their PR Korean answers, like, yes, everyone is good, I am rubbish, and it's only due to my teammates that carry me every single game, despite the fact that I got the MVP, that I am able to win. Like, I think if I actually spoke to Spenu players, like, truthfully, they'd be like, yeah, we're one of the best teams in the world. Now, obviously they're not, and I think that they draft compositions that make it unnecessarily hard for them to win games. That's why they're the bottom team in the league. There's something going wrong with the way the Spenu are playing right now. Like, I mean, we've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's got this whole fucking management scandal behind them, and you know, StarCraft 2 matrixing, leaking over and fucking up their shit. But at the same time, like, some of these players are just underperforming, and their top laner is legitimately the worst top laner in LCK as well.
Yeah, that really doesn't help. So
he's a top lane main who is shit. At least Hippo isn't a top lane main. He's an AD carry.
Yeah, there's an excuse.
Like Hippo's that guy with you dynamic queue where you just like, oh yeah, I've got this guy, he can play top lane for us. Yeah, all right. And then you don't rage at him. It's like, why are you raging at a top lane? Yeah, he's not even a top lane main. Like come some slack. Like, all right, fair enough. Like,
okay, that's kind of all I had about that. Any last thoughts about this series?
Well, just to go over it like individually, like so LZ in the second game they won. They had the GP top, and then they had Frozen on Twisted Fate. I think Frozen played really well on the Twisted Fate, and I think he he kind of, showed why I think Twisted Fate's kind of an underrated pick. Like Twisted Fate's one of those picks. Like if you're good at Twisted Fate, you should probably pick it in certain situations. Like
Faker, if you're good at Twisted Fate.
Yeah, if you're really good at Twisted Fate, and I think Frozen showed he was really good at Twisted Fate in that series. And in game 3, like I almost think that. Pure should pick Bard more often because he played it in the loss against Spenu, but I think he's actually pretty good Bard.
Well, he also there were some. I think he's a pretty good Bard. It's not.
I think the issue is sometimes his ults.
Yeah,
it's a pretty hard ult to hit.
Yeah, he whiffs the ultimates, but if you pretend that Bard doesn't have the ultimates, not always. But if you pretend that Bard doesn't have an ultimate, he's a really good Bard.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's still. Bard is very useful even without your ult.
He has some very good ones. Don't get me wrong, but there are some like you'll watch near the late game where they're really important and just like ooh.
But he the fucking Samsung loss. He had a great ult, which got enemy support, and they should have won because of that. But they fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think LZ's losses can be attributed to anyone individually that hard. I'd say Chase is the player most underperforming. I think it's just really an issue of synergy and this team not synergizing well enough, quickly enough, because there doesn't seem to be any pre-built synergy on that roster at all. And I don't think there is. So
they're all new fucking together. I mean, most of them are new play together. So.
I think the only two that have played together before is like Frozen and there was another IM player that survived as well, wasn't there?
No.
No, fuck knows. Maybe fuck knows. No. Yeah. Oh no, Expression.
Oh yeah. He played
But
Expression.
there's no, they're not playing Frozen and Expression together. So there's almost no synergy there whatsoever. So they just need to get some synergy. I just think they just need to fucking scrim like crazy until they all understand each other properly. Really.
Yeah.
Just practice with one lineup, please. But I do think it's late enough in the season where they can just be like, "This is the lineup we're using. Deal with it."
Yeah, we're not. I mean, we're not even halfway, so they can still experiment a bit.
But we are halfway now. Oh no, wait, no,
No, we're halfway to the halfway. We're
Oh yeah.
quarter.
Well, no, 3/4.
No, we're more than halfway.
Yeah,
We've
a bit
done
over
the
halfway.
first part.
Fucking hell, I forget how long LCK season is. Because LCS teams are 10-0, and I'm like,
Hey.
oh,
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Korea has the worst format of any league.
it's just so
Any
long.
league.
That's a bit too long.
It's super long, and then the playoffs. Nope.
Yeah, it's just over. Really.
Real quick.
Yeah, the playoffs are.
4 sets and done. 4 regular season sets and done.
Yeah. But no, I think Longzhu can still pick it up, and I still think they can be a good team, and I still think they can be the team that we think they're capable of being, and being a top 3, top 4 team. But right now they're not playing like it because there's no synergy on that team. So just need to get some synergy and stick to the same roster.
Just go get it. Get some
Yeah, go to the store and buy it. It's like 20 quid.
Of course.
Moving on to real quick, ROX versus EM. How about that first the draft for game 1?
I love it. It's like, oh good, it's all everything, and let's see what happens.
I don't know if you could get more BM really. Like right here, it was just kind of like
that was PM. It's like
just pick what you want.
it's
We're
the
gonna
Empire.
take
No, they
we're
wanted
gonna
to
take Cannon
practice
Top and
that specific
Ash and
was-
Nocturne. Like Nocturne, at least he's shown up in LPL, but like Ash is just not good.
The funny thing is, Ash started showing up in LCS afterwards, which is like hilarious.
Because like, wait, Koreans are playing it. Play it.
Yeah, it must be really good.
Like, well, it's such an obvious like BM / like just trying out pick. Like,
Yeah, there's so much initiation on this competition. Everyone could initiate. Like,
that was a bit of the point.
I mean, in a meta where initiation seems to be pretty much the make it or break it for 30-minute or 15-minute games. The difference between them is that you can have 2 teams that are good but have no initiation. It's like, well, time to wait to 15 minutes where one of us has to come to a dragon or a baron, or that snowball effect will end the game. This comp was like, hey, as soon as we get to our power spike, it's just going to be team fight after team fight after team fight.
Yeah.
We're never going to not let you not team fight.
yeah, it was a fun game, but it was obviously like such just BM. Like,
Yeah, I think that I'll also just kind of want to play Champions League, like, because Smap loves to play Cannon and stuff.
Yeah, and like obviously part of it as well is like Final Cat
It
was
so abusive.
yeah, like the other part as well is like EM Fire is obviously the team that a lot of those players came from, and Vinyl Cat has coached 4 out of the 5 players on that team, and now he's the head coach for EM Fire. So there's obviously a bit of like BM going on there as well, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
I think EM Fire was like, holy shit, how do you even pick against that stuff? Like,
Yeah.
they were so. I mean, also, why the hell did they pick Corki? Like, if you pick Corki AD with that lineup, you have like almost no physical damage. Like, even if you try to do physical damage, Corki will do magic damage. That's how he works right now. Pick Lucian, please.
Wait, is
It's
this
not like they actually built magic resist, really. I
It was-
mean, you still had people buying armor.
yeah, this is in game 2 by the way, but yes, in the game 2 they picked EM Fire
game
picked the
2, yeah.
Corki very well no, because no, there was no Corki AD.
No.
In game 2,
Oh,
they
yeah,
picked
yeah,
the
sorry.
mid lane.
It's like game 2, they definitely had
Yeah,
AD.
sorry. No, because I thought you said they picked it late. They first picked Corki in
It's
there.
not about late, it's about the fact that they put him in bot lane and then like, well, yeah, now we have no fucking physical damage. You
Yeah.
have AP jungler. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's, that's some weird. Yeah, like they weren't really prepared for that fucking random draft. So they
I
ended
just
up
think
having a really
Smeb,
bad-
like, watching Smeb play Ken in early game. I wish the camera just watched him because he beat Hippo up so bad. So
I
bad.
felt so bad for him. Oh, I felt so bad for Hippo. That's the moment where you're like, come on, like, what is this? Like,
He's not even a top lane main, man. Give him some slack.
yeah. Like, just pick something nice against him. Don't pick your fucking lane bully and then just school all
Yeah,
over.
one of his best champions.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there's not much to be said about game 2 either. I mean, that was pretty much, we're just gonna pick good champions in the meta and then completely dump you even faster.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Jesus.
It's like a game one. It's like that's classic like ROX thing of like troll pick in the first game. The people are like, maybe they're not that good, and then they properly pick in game two. School all over you. And it's like, oh no, they are that good. They're just trolling.
See, I didn't even. Wait, people thought they weren't that good from game one?
No,
Well, no, because
no.
I'm referencing like the series they had against Africa as
Oh.
well, where they lost to Africa, and people were like, maybe they're not that good. Actually, no, they are that good. They're just
like-
fucking around. Like
Game one, they struggled. They hit their power spike, and then just were like, well, we're just gonna have fun with it and just kill
I
everything.
mean, they only have like 3 scaling champions that like don't do much early game. Jesus.
Anything else to be said about this? I mean, I have a couple questions about, I guess, with ROX. Is there any way to beat them in pick ban? Like, is there any way you can conceivably go into pick ban phase, try and target a certain person, and come out?
You can target one, but you should target. I mean, you should get rid of some. I think you can't really give Gorilla Alistar, or at least try and avoid it, or pick it yourself.
yeah, it's the, you know with generally with top teams, it's not like there's a sort of secret way you can like neutralize them completely in a draft. It's more like you want to kind of. You just need to make sure that you get the same amount of power picks they get, and then outplay them, kind of thing. Like it's not like there's a big weakness in their draft. It's not like at the famous example is like SK last year around the time of IEM World Championships, where the Tigers found out they could ban 280 carries, take a third, and then Forgiven would have like
Oh,
stuck on Caitlyn.
Forgiven and Graves.
Yeah, they just be stuck on Caitlyn and be like,
Is there any way, if you were the opponent coach, is there a certain pick ban you experiment with, just at least see what happens?
You have to
take away Gorilla's Alistar. That should be number one.
And maybe like, well, problem is if you let just. I mean, try and at least counter pick Smap. Don't let him counter pick you. But of course, that is a decision on sides.
Yeah.
And then maybe target Peanut's aggressive champions, so you don't have to deal with his Nidalee or.
I think you'd have to put the
Graves.
enemy. I think you'd have to put the enemy jungler on something that could out duel him. I think if you put Peanut in a position where he couldn't reliably duel the enemy jungler, and then you put Smeb into a disfavorable matchup, and then you deny Gorilla Alistar, and then you didn't give Prey Callista, then maybe you could win.
Well, yeah, Callista is in a general fact that you want Callista anyway. That's probably yeah.
I mean, what are you know, the best team in the world, like picking bad against them is not going to be easy, kind of thing. Like it's more. I think you more need to put yourself in a position where you can win.
You have to just take a normal pick ban where you don't target one, but you have to make sure that at the end of the draft you have also a comp you are very comfortable with and that have a similar amount of power picks. We just you don't want to give him Alistar. Alistar in general is so oppressive these days and it's like the best support. I think like Bart is close, but he just doesn't have the same dive potential and stuff. I mean, it's a different kind of diving and stuff.
Yeah, the other problem as well is like sets up bot lane ganks really well, and it's good in a 2v1 because you can heal your own minions and stuff like that. So like,
I think you can try and do some smart baits, like let them have the Callista, which is a problem, yes, but then you can try and take other stuff away from them. Like, of course, depends on what you can play, but I mean, it wouldn't be always bad to take away Nidalee or something. I mean, or TF. I'm mostly thinking SKT right now because they're the best. I mean, most likely team to beat ROX. But the problem is if you try to do stuff like that, Bangy doesn't have the champion pool Peanut has. Faker doesn't play TF, and the rest you shouldn't try and take stuff for Faker because Faker's good enough to on the champions.
That's the weird thing about Faker actually. It's Twisted Fate. Is I actually think he's won games on Twisted Fate. But I actually think Twisted Fate is probably the champion he's like other than Gangplank, he's had solidly the worst showings on.
He was good on Gangplank.
Oh, okay.
No, his Gangplank was good when Gangplank was good. Okay?
Yeah.
Now it's bad. Like you should see his 1 or 2 Gangplank games from last year when it was still broken shit. When GBM pulled it out afterwards, he also played it. It was super good.
Yeah.
Now I think if there's one champion's not good at, Xerath.
Yeah,
okay. But like I'm saying, over the course of his career, Twisted Fate is the one kind of black spot I can really pinpoint to on Faker's champion pool.
It's such a pick that should be known in Korea.
Like I mean, like this is a bit of a throwback. I remember in SKT's debut season where they played against the KT Arrows, which at the time totally different lineup, had Zero mid lane, and Hero was the AD carry. Like, this is how far back I'm going. Like, this isn't even the cacao. And Faker played Twisted Fate in one of those games, and he got schooled on by Zero's Fizz. And there were like multiple times he landed blue cards where he should have landed yellow cards and denied his teammates kills. Like, if you go back and watch it, it'll take you like an hour to find the VOD. Maybe I'll put it on Twitter. But that's always kind of put my mind like, maybe Faker's not that good at Twisted Fate. And then since then, he's never had a good Twisted Fate game. You know what I mean? So, like, whenever I see Faker play Twisted Fate, I'm always a bit like, really? So, I mean, obviously we've talked about that enough, but yeah, I just think you'd have to just have a solid draft against them and just outplay them. I think that's the only way you could do it. It's not like, we've seen top teams in Korea before be a bit more one-dimensional, and then it's just about like cracking the puzzle, like it was with CJ and Displays in spring of 2013, or it was with Tigers this time last year, where they were a bit more one-dimensional as a team, and it was more about cracking the sort of the ego.
Mostly the meta that kind of fucked him over.
Yeah.
They weren't one-dimensional. Well, kind of worked. They were, because they were like get to 20 minutes and then start scaling up. But before that, they were vulnerable. But that was in game.
So I think you just have to outplay them. Basically, I don't think you could outdraft them.
Their pools are too big.
Sounds like a bad idea either way, because I don't think I can see a team outplaying them.
Yeah, no, that's kind of hard.
No king rules forever.
True.
Also,
Should we even touch on CJ Africa?
I don't really want to. But I just want to point out, I think this is Pena's first time that he went skirmisher. In the Nidley game, he actually went.
Oh yeah, he went the warning one.
Or trackers or whatever. The warning, yeah. Which is funny when Papa Smithy said on that moment, yeah, he didn't buy wards. It's like, but he bought the trackers knife, man. Like, like, come on, he can put wards down now. Be happy for once.
Normally, he buys a skirmish and then doesn't buy wards anyway. And just walks into the enemy jungle and kills them. Like, who needs wards when I kill the enemy jungler? Like,
he still had like 7 kills. So
he's that guy that like tells you all the time, like, the best CC is death. Like, you're not wrong, but.
I mean, he was the carry in game 1, so he didn't really need to buy wards.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I mean, Africa CJ was just very long, very boring.
Yeah, I watched it live.
The one thing I want to say about this is Mad Life is actually looking really good right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
he drew Bard bans all 3 games.
Like he's having this weird resurgence where like he actually looks really good right now, and he actually looks like he's in his prime again. And I don't think people are talking about it enough because now he's on a bad. Yeah, now he's that classic thing of like now he's on a bad team. No one's hyping him up anymore. Like he actually is. Like I actually think he's probably a top 3 supporter in the world right now based on the way that he's playing. Like
it makes me very interested to see if Ghost is actually like as good as I suppose he's supposed to be.
I would say that at best Ghost and Kramer are probably equal, and that they will probably rotate between the 2 of them because I think Kramer's actually pretty good AD carry.
My issue being is that the second season the second part of the season goes on, Bubbling and Untara are just. Oh.
No, Untara is not that much of an issue. It's Bubbling that's the issue. Untara has to play with the worst jungler in LCK. Give him some fucking credit, like.
Yeah,
I'll acknowledge that, but it's just.
Like I said, expression, and then you have like Untara, and then the rest of shitters, but it's still like.
Yeah,
by the time you get all the way with Smapla,
like,
it's still.
Untara's not as big of an issue as like Soul on Spenu.
Yeah, no.
Or fucking.
But it's not like he does much.
Or Hippo on EM Fire, like.
Hippo or Roach.
Or Roach, whatever the fuck that guy wants to call
the backup mid laner.
Yeah, the backup mid laner who they put into top lane. Like he's not that bad. He's all right. I don't want to see him on Quinn or anything. I want to see him, play a tank and zone. But yeah, he's not that bad. It's like the reincarnation of Looper.
Oh God.
So
moving on, then we have the SKT KT, the Telecom Disappointment Wars.
Whoa. Yeah, a bit.
What did you guys think of this? Because if I had one takeaway, and I looked at KT, and it had my most disappointment of the entire day was Fly.
He was underwhelming versus Faker. Yeah, that is true.
Not only that, but his lack of Zonias, both games.
Oh yeah.
Is really weird. Like the second game, it kind of ended a bit before it, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
just
but game 2.
But the first game,
he
bought Rabadon. Like he was getting killed, and he needed Zonias to be able to get a second rotation, and then bought Rabadons over it, and it was like, buddy.
Yeah. No, the big issue for me in this series was score. When we think, because I wrote a 1,000 word preview to the series, and I talked about you know, like Score might be the best jungler in LCK. I talked about the massive difference between him and Bengi, and I mean, I have to put him and Peanut as the top 2 junglers.
Okay.
And I talked about like his, you know, his a lot of game pressure, the very smart way he plays the game. There was none of that. Like he picked Graves, he wandered around for a bit. He did not look good in this series. Like, you know, it was very underwhelming from him. I'd say it was probably his worst series he's played in the tournament so far. And considering he's the captain of this team, and you know he really should be like, and he's such a veteran, he shouldn't be shrinking up in big series like this. Like it was very, very disappointing from a player that we hold in such high regard, and I hold in such personal high regard. Like when I talked about the series, I talked about the advantage SKT had was obviously Bang and Faker, who I like to refer to as like when you like. So when you nowadays fake SKT remind me of Samsung Blue at the end of 2014, where you think about like the Dade and Deft like 1-2 punch that they had in competitive and how they would play team fights between the two of them. So they'd both be a big threat going into team fight. Dade would dive into the middle of it, zone all the absorb all the cooldowns, still, and then Deft would skirt the edge and deal out a maximum amount of damage. Now I think Faker and Bang are playing in that kind of way as well. And the way that Faker will sacrifice himself in the team fight in order to allow Bang to deal more damage. And now Bang and Faker are like that premier 1-2 you know, carry combo in competitive. And I talked about that if SKT wanted to win, they needed to like focus on that 1-2 punch and, you know, get the team fight out of KT and that kind of thing. And they did that in game 1. In game 2, KT just rolled over.
And KT in game 2, it was just surprising that Duke and Bengi were the ones actually taking the game over. Well, that should be the strength of KT, which was totally gone.
And also, anyone who defends hachani, go and watch game 2. Yeah. He was so shit in that game. Undisputed shit. Horrible. There was a moment where like he just randomly wandered up the river bush, like, and then got caught and had to like flash away and like drew loads of KT attention. And then he didn't have his flash in the next team fight. And like, there were just so many moments where he was fucking terrible in that series. Like, if there was any, like, if I wanted to illustrate how bad of a player hachani is, like, just watch that series. And sometimes I'll get people on Twitter being like, oh no, you're being unnecessarily harsh on hachani. Like, he's actually pretty good. No, he's not. He's shit. Go watch that series. Like,
his Alistair has been decent. The issue being is that that's about the best compliment I can give him, is that he is good on one champion.
He's good on one champion that's
pretty
utterly
broken.
Ridiculous. Yeah, utterly ridiculous. hachani is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay. hachani is not terrible when I compare him to bottom tier NALCS supports or anything. But he plays for a top 3 team in the world.
And not only
he
that,
does weird things.
But they have a better support whose ass is on a bench.
Yes. Ignar is legitimately one of the biggest rising talents in Korea, and they refuse to play him.
Fucking horror.
It's
other than, I mean, I'm like looking at, I always look at SKT. I don't know why, but like last 3 years, or 2 years, the only thing I do is always watch that from SKT's perspective. Fuck me, why? I don't know. I'm not even a fan of them. I just find it interesting. It's Faker's fault. And the moment he leaves, I'm not gonna care anymore. I know.
Faker's Lulu.
Yeah, oh god. But like, it feels like SKT, like, I mean, I finally felt some synergy with Duke and the rest of the team. I don't know. Except that in game 1, the only thing he did was ult a lot to clear his own minions and not actually to fucking maybe help the team. There was, I think, maybe 1 or 2 ults for the team fights.
The usefulness of gangplank.
But he got a lot of fire at least.
Hide and farm a lot.
He did a shit ton of just farming in game 1. But it was pretty, I mean, it was pretty good showing from him because it was against Sunday as well. I mean, game 2 was just a stomp. And he was playing a counter matchup, but he played Quinn pretty well.
Yeah, like I talked about this in the article. Like I talked about the difference between Duke and Someday was that KT play around Someday, and whereas Duke needs to learn to play around SKT. I think Duke showed that he actually has that ability to. And then in game 2, like it looked like SKT were kind of weirdly playing around Duke in the way that he was playing Quinn and stuff like that. But
they're playing around Duke and Bang, yeah.
Yeah, like I think they're more like, which is like it's kind of upsetting because I want Faker to carry, but.
See,
but when he gets Lulu, they don't care anymore. What I mean, they go to the side lanes. They go to Bang and to Duke, and Faker will just be the like very oppressive utility role. It's insane.
It was very reminiscent of last year when they played around Marin and they play around Bang, and Faker. Whenever Faker could get Lulu, they just default to playing around those 2 carry positions and letting Faker just literally do whatever he needs to do to keep them alive.
Although interestingly, I think Lulu's like statistically one of Faker's worst champions in terms of his win rate on it. I think he doesn't have like.
Zareth.
Oh, like okay. As I said, one off.
Good. I mean, it can't be that bad.
If you look it up, I don't think he has like a more than 60% win rate.
He has to. I don't believe that. Yes. Well, I mean, I don't know how many fucking games played. Man.
I think he has a. I think a bad win rate for him is like 70s because he's got a pretty good fucking win rate.
Yeah, you look at like
anyway to find out.
I definitely think his Lulu win rate is below his average win rate. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I
don't know. He had 100%, 66, 100. Didn't play it. 150. Issue being is like stats are kind of broken up and they only go back to 2014.
Yeah, like I mean, I think.
Oh wow! Oh, it's 3 games, 3 losses in Champion Spring 2014.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like there were multiple.
He had 4 losses and 3 of them were Lulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Well, it was 214, which is a it was a bad year.
SKT played well in this series. I don't want to discredit them. They played really, really well in this series, and they looked like they.
KT didn't show up.
KT did not show up. Now, if you go back and you watch last week's show, we all predicted KT would win 2-1 or 2-0. Now,
hachani.
No, if they didn't play hachani.
Yeah, I went back and changed my prediction when I read my article, and I said that if SKT won't win a game, they play blanking. They didn't play blank.
We knew that.
And I said that based on what I thought the probable lineups were, i.e., them using KT using hachani, SKT would win 2-1. Now, even then, I still predicted it as 2-1 with hachani. It was 2-0. And the second game was not close, was absolutely not close. The first game was really enjoyable, really close, good quality League of Legends. Second game, absolute shit.
I still don't think SKT had that much chance in game 1.
It's so hard to predict that, though, because, I mean, KT was doing so well. The only time they kind of were shaky was against ROX. But even then, they took a game.
And they looked good in that game, too.
Yeah.
The game 2 they had as well.
I mean, the only real reason like game 1 took that long was because Faker got caught that one time or twice. He got caught a couple times, like stupidly.
Couple times at Corky, yeah.
For two
elite, played very well, but then those couple times really got caught, like delayed the game unnecessarily long.
For 2 elite Korean teams to play each other and for one of them to win 2-0 or 3-0 is a disgrace. Is a disgrace and shows that there was a breakdown on the other team. Because I always say that elite Korean teams should be able to always take at least one game off somebody. They should always have that moment where like a specific draft. Or, the player skills should align the right way. Now, maybe if this was a best of 5, KT could have rebounded in game 3 and won game 3. I don't believe that, based on what I saw in game 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Not with hachani.
No, and I just can't describe how bad hachani is. Like, he's not a good player at all. And it is a disservice to the rest of the players on KT to continue.
Please come back.
I don't even think Peekaboo needs to come back. I just think he needs to use Ignar. Obviously, it would be good if Peekaboo came back, but, Score played bad. But that was Score's worst series I've seen him play in a long time. Hachani's level, if Score's level in this series was there, Hachani's was down here. He was a literal head weight for his team.
I think his game 1 wasn't that bad.
I think that's like I said, I think his Alistair's.
Oh no, sorry about Score.
Oh
yeah.
I was gonna say too. The issue too was with this series was that Fly and Score both seemingly had pretty poor performances. And then when you heap hachani on top of that, that's clearly breaks the back.
Yeah, and then in game, and then
it's
Sunday got Flame Horizon twice in a row. I think that game 2 draft was the big problem because they put Sunday in a disfavorable matchup on GP. This is the main carry of the team. Too many teams make this mistake where someone's your main carry, you don't put them in a disfavorable matchup, you put them in a favorable matchup with a champion that they can carry with. Because you want them to school the lane, then school the rest of the game.
That's what I would
the turret. Yeah.
Put on a fucking game. But see, the problem is I still don't like Gangplank, but I have accepted how Gangplank works versus Poppy, and I can accept it. That's how Flame did as well. If Korean teams do it, it seems to be okay, you pick Gangplank into Poppy because you can use a passive, it does true damage, it doesn't. Yeah, you can actually be pretty abusive in lane. It's one of the few lanes you'll win, and it's top lanes, you have time to scale. Don't just blind pick it and then just get of course you get confident and you get your ass kicked because you pick a ranged character against it and he's fucking worthless. That's a very good draft phase from SKT. It's at that point that that gangplank is worthless because he's gonna take forever to scale and probably gonna die a couple times, which he did. Meanwhile, Duke is just flying around everywhere and killing everybody.
Yeah, it was such a like an anticlimax. You know what I mean? Like I got all excited about it.
That's true.
You know, I put my nice cologne on. You know, I put a nice outfit on. I made an effort. I got to the club, and the bouncer said, "Yeah, you can't come in because you haven't got any girls with you." What should I do? Ring up my girl?
I think that makes you go in, and there are no girls inside. That's the climax.
Like it was yeah. That's a good analogy as well. Like I got all excited about this club night. Got in there, big old sausage fest, big old load of crap. I was like, I want to go now. I'm not going to a gay club. Not, you know, I like gay clubs, but I didn't plan on coming one tonight. Most none of these blokes are even gay. I can't even suck anyone up. What the fuck is this? Like, there's no way I'm getting the action tonight.
Well, I was gonna say, welcome to pretty much OGN since LCK has been put in. Is that matches get excited and then they show up and are like, oh.
But the weird thing is, KT had a good game series versus ROX. So you expect?
Yeah, that was a good.
That's what I'm saying. Is that there's a little bit of hype coming, and then once you get to like that exciting game, later in the season, it's like, oh, it's gonna be so good. Nope.
And when you think about the SKT versus KT rivalry as well, like it has actually historically produced some quite good games and some quite good series and stuff like that. But the only real big victory that KT have ever had over SKT is KT Arrows in summer of 2014, where they beat SKT 1K. No, it's spring of 2014. They lost to S and they beat K 2-0.
Yeah, but they beat S in summer.
No. Oh yeah, they beat S in summer. That's the only two real wins that KT have got over SKT.
It wasn't even a fun series, man.
No, that was a terrible series.
Shit. That was such a long series.
Yeah.
Time we had some good old playoffs.
And they were both thanks to Cacao.
Yeah.
Of course.
And you know what? Someday Score is a good jungler. He just doesn't seem to show up against SKT, which is getting alarming. Like, has he just got PTSD against them or something? Like, oh, Ryu 1v1. Oh, like it's carried over from Ryu.
I mean, I still find it. I mean, yeah, they banned Bengi out because that was like, oh, they finally they're gonna ban him out. But yeah, and then he goes to Lee Sin. A bit expected, but like if it's all he can play, it's like Lee Sin. Lee Sin is not the greatest pick right now, and I mean.
He did have a sweet play on Lee Sin though, where he got the first blood against. I mean, it was a totally unnecessary play because he probably would have got that kill anyway. But it was pretty sweet with the way he like wall hopped.
No. If he would have been hit by that ult, he would have flown a whole way back here. That ult goes, you go far, man.
No. I'm talking about where he like W'd and then managed to land the Q. Like people were hyping at the fact he landed the Q. He could have just at that point he could have just walked around and still killed him. Like it was nice, like you know. That was my other problem as well with the series, like because obviously we talked about this idea that you know a team should try banning out Bengi and stuff like that. I think KT tried it. I don't think it worked as well as they wanted it to because I think Bengi still looked all right on Lee Sin, and I actually think like the rushing of the Graves was actually a bit of a mistake because. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with letting Bengi have Graves. Like, he's not a particularly good Graves player.
Yeah,
like,
what did they pick then?
Yeah, so, like, I mean, if you look at it...
Banned, so I kind of had to go with Nidalee. I'm not sure Score is Nidalee.
Yeah, but, well, no, because Nidalee was banned as well. So, SKT, Zillion, Nidalee, Rise, KT banned Rek'Sai, Elise, Lulu. SKT first picked the Kalista, which is already problematic. Then KT picked Alistair, and now the Alistair pick's fine. It's like that rushing of the Graves because then SKT just picked Corki. So what my question is why didn't like I think if KT had just picked the Corki there and then they might because like Arrow's all right on Corki, you know, historically. Yeah, and that Corki did fucking work in that game. It nearly lost the game for Baker. Sorry,
wait, that's Baker. That was
Baker nearly lost the game, but then he
also like did all the work.
But he was the reason they managed to get a lead because that was that moment when he got like a triple kill, like 1v3 in the mid lane or something, like bonkers. He's definitely got a double kill, like just sniping.
Wasn't it that stupid ass double kill where they first? Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they actually fought that pretty. But I think Duke didn't TP what he shouldn't have, and then he somehow randomly got like 2 kills.
Yeah. Faker used the package to get like to try and do some sneaky stuff. Ended up getting super chunked. Recalls as the fight's still going on. KT win the fight, and then by the time they're taking the first tower, they overextend in order to take the turret and give Faker 2 easy kills.
Yeah, and that was like 3 for 3. Well, it should never have been like that.
So and
yeah, SKT took the mid turret and then the next mid turret because their team respawned.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like to harp on about draft phases because I do think draft phases are overrated and people bang on and on about them, and I don't think they're as impactful as people make out they are. But sometimes I look at like a little bit of mistake, I think, in the draft, and I think it was a mistake that the KT coaches did where they took away the grades when in reality they should have taken away the corky, because it's like
They were tunneled on getting Bengi away from any.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a problematic champion for Bengi to have. Like, you know, that's definitely not a Bengi champion. Lee Sin is more of a Bengi champion than
You played him once.
Graves. So you played once and it was all right. Like at best.
I would have to say there's 5 letters that disagree with you. The pick ban matters, and that's NALCS. So, but just they'll be one of the teams that didn't play this week. Jenner, they have a pretty big week coming up, and they have to play against KT and ROX. And I'm pretty sure ROX is going to be a 2-0 quick, clean series. So I don't think that's a chance of them winning. Do you think they can actually beat KT and stay in contention for a top 5?
KT play Hachani and they play like they did against SKT. Sure, why not?
It is possible that Jenner could make plays. I mean, KT was really not impressive, so Jenner could have some strategies ready again and maybe take a game or something.
My prediction.
Impossible.
I mean, I guess we're running down the predictions for each match, but my prediction for that game 2-1 to KT, because I'm a bit of a pussy and I always like to go for a 2-1, except in like really obvious cases. And again, it's that thing of like an elite Korean team should be able to take a game off another elite Korean team or whatnot. But you think about it, like Jin Air, Winged is a jungler that's on the rise. Trace is a top lane that's performing pretty well right now. Kuzan, if you look at him actually statistically, is actually one of the statistically best mid laners in LCK. If you look at like his damage dealt versus the amount of gold that he takes, he's actually really, really well performing well. He doesn't make quite enough plays, which is why I'm not like hot on the Kuzan praise right now. But statistically, he does his job in team fights really, really well. And then Pilot and Che are a solid bot lane, definitely better than Arrow and Hachani are in the fucking bot lane. And I'm sorry, but Che is significantly better than fucking Hachani. Che's a solid support player. Hachani's a fucking dumpster.
I think Jenner late game can definitely get some good fights against KT.
So, like, that's why I say it's going to be a 2-1. Now, if KT learn their lesson and they play Ignar, they probably should 2-0 it. But we haven't seen any of Ignar. We've seen him play one game. It was a meaningless game. I don't even know what Ignar's synergy is like with the team. I've got this horrendous nightmare that all the KT are doing is scrimming with Hachani, so they feel forced to use him.
I really want to know what Hachani knows in the scene and stuff, because why is he still there?
Yeah, why is he still playing? He is a player.
He has dirt on everybody. Like,
he is one of those Korean players where if he got dropped by KT, I don't think he'd get picked up by a foreign team. Like, whereas you think like any player on like the top 3 teams in Korea, if they didn't want to play in Korea anymore, would have like a ton of offers from foreign teams. I don't think Hachani would have an offer at all, except maybe some LSPL team.
Oh, I like some Koreans there.
Yeah, he's fucking shit. Bench him, please. If we renamed the show, we should rename it to Bench Hachani Talk.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'm okay with that. Or come back Peekaboo.
Yeah. Peekaboo and Hachani Talk.
So yeah, I mean, Jin Air has a pretty. I think they have these are the last 2 games of the season too. Is after this is it? They're not playing. They don't play week 7. Actually, 4 teams don't play week 7, but yeah, SKT don't play. Jin Air don't play. Samsung doesn't play. Africa doesn't play.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yep.
Are we talking about week 7? Sorry.
Week 7, yeah. Because another super short week.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but no, that's.
So you have a couple teams that have like this is it for their first half of the season. So pretty meaningful games. So yeah, we already said the Jin KT. So then we have Samsung CJ.
2-0 to Samsung. Obviously, CJ team rise, but Crown's a pretty good mid laner, and I can't see the way for CJ to do that wizardry they normally do because Samsung are pretty legit. So yeah, their foundations are a lot better than teams that CJ managed to take games off. Let's say.
Yeah, I think the stop's not going to work again. Well, maybe one game.
Although if there was one jungler that Bubbling could punish, it would be Ambition.
Punish. You have to do something first. Oh gosh. Stop reminding me Ambition is playing for Samsung. It's horrible.
Yeah, I'd say 2-0 to Samsung.
Yeah. Same thing.
Then we have SKTLZ. 2-1 or 2-0?
2-0.
2-0 to SKT.
It's effort. There's no way Lungs even like just pick it up. Just randomly find synergy in a and be better than SKT. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
At least they have one more week before they play KT, so by that time they could maybe put up a good fight against KT. Nah, 2-0. Clear cut.
Garbage game to follow that one on Thursday. Or-
Yeah, I think Africa's
Sorry,
probably
yeah, Thursday is Africa EM Fire.
Yeah, Africa.
Can Africa truly reach new bottom and
So-
lose?
2-1 to EM Fire. I'm gonna do it. 2-1 to EM Fire.
It's
Going down
possible.
the-
I'm really confident in this. Like they fucking lost to CJ as well. Like
I think
they
EM
have
Fire.
no hope for Africa.
I think EM Fire are individually a better team than Africa. Come
No.
on,
Better question for this series: over under 3 hours.
Well, you mean game time? Because I'm probably under, but
The time it will just take for it to like. It's gonna start at.
Oh, it's
I think
definitely gonna be
5
more than 3
o'clock my
hours.
time.
Yeah,
Or
you can
is
get
it
up at 9 or something.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot.
It starts at 3 o'clock my time. Will it be over by 6?
Oh yeah, 3 o'clock.
I think no. 50-minute games with 10-minute intervals.
I have to work. Oh, I can sleep out. I have to work in the evening. No problem.
Seems like a pretty shit part. KTCJ.
2-0 KT.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they should really do that.
Only way I can see CJ winning is if KT play Hachani and then Mad Life and Kramer manage to go off.
Mm.
But like Untara versus Sunday,
Oh boy.
Bubbling versus Score.
Yeah. They should really.
CJ have shown pretty good team
I mean,
fighting.
yeah, fucking
KT have got
Sky
better team
versus
fighting.
Fly. I mean, like, even Sky's.
Sky versus Fly. It sounds like a fucking thing from a kids show, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I want to fly in the sky. Yeah, I
We
can't.
have Jin versus the clearly lackluster best team in the world, ROX Tigers.
2-0 rocks.
Maybe 2-1. Maybe they just troll a bit or something. No, it's still probably 2-0.
I think
I
if
think they control as hard as
yeah.
they want, and they would still crush.
Yeah, probably.
SKT Africa, another 2-0 most likely.
Yeah, 2-0.
yeah,
And then, just in case you didn't have enough disappointment this week,
Man, Samsung has some easy
Samsung.
fucking games this week.
yeah. It's not,
another over under 3 hours.
Wait, how many? What's this standing of Samsung right now?
holy shit, we might live in a world where Samsung might end the split 6 and it might end the first part of the split 6-3. Think about that.
It
Just
probably will.
And that if they finish 6-3, they could legitimately be like a
They'll
top 4
tie.
team.
They'll tie KT probably.
Yeah,
They'll tie KT. Unless KT lose to Longzhu, but that shouldn't happen.
yeah. So yes, Samsung 2-0.
Oh wait, no, they're gonna be behind KT. I thought KT were gonna lose, but they shouldn't. So, KT will be 1 game ahead.
Yeah, I think they'll be ahead of Longzhu.
They will, yeah, they'll be ahead of Longzhu.
Will they be ahead of Jin?
Jin versus CML. They lose this game. Oh wow. Yeah, Longzhu is probably just gonna end with 5-4. So yeah, it'll be ahead of Jin as well.
Yeah, so Samsung will be a top 4 team at the end because Samsung should be 6-3, whereas Jin and
Only SKT, KT, and ROX will be ahead of them.
yeah, Jin and Longzhu should be like 5-4. So
Tied, yeah. 5 and 6.
What a world! What a crazy world to live in, where ambition is a top 3 team. Is in a top 3 team.
4.
he said in an interview, and he wanted to have 4 losses in the entire regular season. He might manage to do it with 6. That's close to delivering, if you ask me. I laughed at him when he said that. He might shut me up.
Yes. That was ridiculous.
Don't worry, I'm sure it won't last very long. His ability to gloat.
Do you think he's gonna call me on Skype and be like, "Ah, you little shit, laughed at me, did you?" No, he just obviously we don't talk, so why don't you talk to me anymore, Ambition? What, I thought we were friends.
Well, I don't think Ambition knows anything about us, so pretty confident in that actually.
What are you talking about? He's the biggest fan of the show. Like,
Yeah, because we rip on him every week.
That's because he is terrible every week. Anything else this week? Really short, not too much.
no,
I
I
was going
think.
to talk about like what we think about end of season, but I think we can wait for week 7.
Yeah,
We
we're
can
gonna
go
wait.
from half the season. We can kind of speculate for half because I mean, another week where there's barely any games.
Yeah, the
None of them are actually interesting.
We can talk about IM and then that next.
Yeah, heading
split
into
afterwards.
next week is really kind of the equalizer, and you should see the standings kind of calm down. So I'm saying Generic probably going to fall, Kate, and then like you should really see like the top 3 we talk about, and then the other 3.
Sadly, Samsung's actually going to be up there.
Yeah,
Because-
Samsung will be the best of the middle really.
Because there's
the
only
top
one
3,
exciting game
the
week
middle
7.
3, and then the other shitters. Who's going to be the best of the worst at the end of week 6?
Wait, best of 4. Oh, wait, that's
Probably me,
Samsung.
CJ.
Yeah, well, it has to be CJ because I mean,
Yeah, they're already 3-3.
yeah. So like, I can't see a world where Spanier can't.
Africa can't beat SKT, so and they probably can't beat.
So even if
Fire,
Africa beat EM Fire, or even if EM Fire, yeah, CJ are automatically the best of the worst. Huh. How about when I predicted them?
Yeah, not really, no. Well, Spain's the worst of the worst.
I thought Africa would be in that spot, but
Yeah, so
they're bad. They've got a great 80 carry, Callista. I mean, a bad 80 carry, Sangyun.
Yeah. Cool.
So I think that's about it. See you guys next week.